One of my greatest regrets was being a total idiot in high school. And what I mean by this is I practiced no self-discipline. I did nothing to better myself. I went from 9th through 12th grade being a complete fool, an arrogant fool, a rebellious, lazy fool. I didn't study, I didn't do homework. And every night I rationalized why it would be better for me to do anything else because homework and studying were incredibly uncomfortable. I had the attention span of a gnat and I didn't want to do it. I didn't like doing it, it didn't make me feel good. So I hadn't practiced or built my discipline muscle. So therefore I didn't do anything and made excuses and rationalized why this was good. So by the time high school was over, I was really good at partying, going out with friends, playing, watching TV, taking naps when I was supposed to be working, but I wasn't any good at studying or disciplining my mind or doing anything of value. And therefore, nobody wanted to hire me, and I had no opportunities. There was no schools that came knocking. Nobody came knocking. There was nothing there. It was one of my biggest regrets. I wish I could go back and change that and practice some self-discipline because that would have opened up many opportunities in the future for me and developed a muscle that I didn't have. Now fast forward some 20 odd years later, which has been about 20 years ago, I had an opportunity, a major company hired me. I was in the radio business and another radio group hired me, which was much bigger than the one I was at. And they hired me to be their sales manager. And I said yes. And I remember the first day, because it was unique. I'm sitting in there with the owner and a general sales manager, and they pushed me a list. They said, Ed, here's a list of our accounts. These are key accounts, list we want you to carry. Now, taking that list would have been a huge benefit to me. I would have made a lot more money because I was also paid on a commission, and it would have made my life a lot easier. But I looked and I smiled and I pushed that list back across the table because I didn't want to make the same mistake again. I had started to practice self-discipline, disciplining my emotions, my feelings, my life, personal and professional. And I said to them, look, I have to prove to myself that I can do this job, that I can come in here because I've never worked for this type of a group. I've never worked for these types of stations. I'm a virgin in this. I don't know what I'm doing. So number one, I have to prove to myself I can do it. And number two, and more importantly, you're asking me to run a team of salespeople. They have to know I can do this. They have to be able to look at me and say, oh yeah, well he did the same thing he's asking us. I need to be able to do what I said for them to do. So I couldn't just preach at them. I had to follow up with my actions. So I didn't take any list. I took no help whatsoever. The first year was pretty tough. It was pretty hard because I took the worst list that they had, the list nobody else wanted. But within a couple of years, we built an empire, and it was wonderful. Now, I gave up a lot of things for those first couple of years. I gave up a lot of extra TV. I didn't go out with friends. I didn't take much time off. But after those first couple of years, it gave me the freedom then to take time off and to do things that I wanted to do because I practiced self-discipline, unlike my high school years where I did nothing. Self-discipline is your pathway to success. You have to learn to discipline yourself because it is the door to your future. When we don't build our lives on discipline, it's like building a home on sand. It is a loose foundation, and at some point, no matter how good your success looks on paper, it's all going to come down. So today, make a commitment to discipline. Make a commitment to start small and start disciplining yourself to do the uncomfortable things, the hard things now, so in the future, you can have the freedom to do the fun things. My name is Ed Carcarey, and I'd love to connect with you at edcarcarey.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn under Ed Carcarey. Find your passion, you'll find your life.